Hey, it's Enlightenment Garden. It's October 14th, and today I'm going to do a full tour for you, a full fall tour. My backyard is located in the Phoenix, Arizona area. It's 9B climate. If you're new to this channel, I started gardening in 2016, so this is a look at the yard about 2.5 years later. This lot was dirt when I moved in. This was a new build, completely just clay soil. So I was very fortunate to find this lot. It's half an acre, so it provides me with enough room where I can, put my food forest at the back, so I don't have wood chips near the house, because when you do wood chip, there is a concern about termites. They are going to feed on those dead wood chips, and you don't want them too near your house. All my yard was pretty much lawn initially. This is the last remaining lawn area. And you'll notice that I have mature ficus at the back, and recommend that when you first put your infrastructure in, you find some tier 1 type plants that can thrive in your native climate, that are going to provide shade and windbreak for your young plants. This is a tropical pink guava, grown from seed. The Royal Poinciana, Delonix regia. Really fast grower here. Just need to protect this in the winter. Just beautiful, soft, fern-like foliage. This plant does put off edible seed pods, but most people grow it for the incredible display of flowers. Pomegranate. This is the wonderful variety. I also have a Parafianca and a purple heart. that are not yet fruiting, but they were grafted on and took. What's nice is fig trees here, you can get 3 crops out of them if they produce the Breva crop off the old wood. This is the Desert King. This is one that's capable of producing 3 crops fruit. Here I've got a 3-in-1 apple. These are more of the low chill type apple that do well here. So we've got Anna, Dorset, and Fuji. This is a Chicago hardy fig. We've had a lot of rain here, so some of these figs have split. Washington Navel Orange. And you do have a raised bed back here. Over here is the sacred frankincense tree, Boswellia sacra. This tree can be harvested for the gum, the resin, known as frankincense. It has a whole host of beneficial properties, healing properties. So over here is my kind of main orchard area. This was a lawn, and I've converted it to a wood chipped area. Sheet mulched it with cardboard and just laid on the wood chips. This is the Excel fig. I do have some grafts, pretty much on all the figs. I won't go into all the grafts. It's the Panache Tiger fig. Got a Fuji apple here. We've got a Loquat apium, so this is a apricot plus plum. Here's the Pakistan mulberry. Just incredible how much growth that will put on for you. If you need a shade tree, you'd also like some fruit out of it. Highly recommend the Pakistan mulberry for that. Over here I've got a Champagne Loquat. Another guava tree here. And this tree is really unusual in that I got both pink and white guavas out of it. Now, I'm not sure if this was a grafted variety or if it was a seedling. But I've never seen a guava tree produce both kinds. So that's pretty cool. Have a somewhat struggling mango here. The Bailey's Marvel really didn't put on growth this year. And pruned it back. a Black Star Suriname cherry. Unusual taste to this one. It's got almost a spicy type sweet cherry taste. It's more complex. This is the Gold Nugget Mandarin. It's a 20th century Asian pear. Asian pears do quite well in our climate. And I do have a couple grafts that I did. So down here, this is the Shinseki. And then up here, I have a couple of Hisui grafts, and even a couple of rogue pears came on. Over here's a 3-in-1 Plumeria, Apple Dandy, Flavor Supreme, and Flavor Queen, I believe. And in front here is the Moro Blood-Orange. Pretty small plants that went in this year. And they'll get filtered light from the Poinciana. Over here is a pretty huge raspberry latte fig. And it's putting on its second crop of fruit. Fall is when we get a lot of new fruit off fig trees. Here I have a Violet de Bordeaux fig with a graft of lemon or blanche. Bass's favorite fig. I had a queen palm here and I pulled it out. Cut it down to give the food forest more room. This is a white peach variety. This is a Florida Glow. And over here, I just planted recently a Shangri-La Mulberry. So where this palm tree was, I want this Shangri-La to kind of fill its place to provide shade canopy for these trees. This is a red Malaysian Guava. Here we have a kitty apricot. An all-in-one almond. Straight back, that's a Panamint nectarine. Here we have a shea berry. It's in the mulberry family. A black Ashiya Fig. It's fruiting. This is a Petit Negre fig. It is also fruiting. I put in this little dwarf nectarine this year. This is a Garden Delight mini nectarine, yellow type. This is another new one planted this year. This is a Variegated Eureka Pink Lemon. Over here I have a Hollywood Plum as the rootstock, and then several grafted varieties. Green Gage. Let's see, and we have a Satsuma. And a Methley, the third variety. So if you have limited space, grafting's a nice choice to get more variety. Here's a Tina Fig. And a Toro Fig graft. Over here I have an Arbequina olive. I tried curing olives for the first time. Unfortunately, I did something wrong because I had some mold develop in my brine solution, so I'm going to have to learn how to avoid that next time. So this is all 2.5 years of growth. I have some bananas in here. I don't know that I'm going to keep banana. It doesn't seem like it's a good return. I haven't had this fruit for me yet. It does take up space. I most likely will pull these out and replace it with the star fruit because I like this microclimate. It's more protected here. And starfruit will grow quite well here, but does need to be protected in the winter as well as in the summer with the winds. This is a Persian Mulberry. It's a white type variety. Lsu Fig. Not a great fig variety for Phoenix. This fig tends to drop its fruit. I haven't gotten one to ripen to maturity in 2 years. You can see there are figs on it again. However, I believe they'll probably just drop again. It's a great variety for the south, but not here. This, on the other hand, is a really great fig for here. It's a honey fig called Diana. This is a new addition. This is the Star Cherry. And yeah, that's pretty small. I got this from Top Tropicals. I was expecting something a lot bigger for $40. We'll see how well this does. It's protected though with this giant timber bamboo right behind it, creating that amazing microclimate. And you can see this is not a running type bamboo. These stalks are all tight. That's the key difference between clumping and running bamboo. Clumping's gonna stay contained and behaved, stay in one spot for you. And bamboo, the tender shoots, they're actually edible. So aesthetics function with windbreak and shade, plus edible. This is the new guava that I put in, the Mexican cream. Over here I have a white Cuban guava. This produced about 100 guavas this year for me. The first time really getting a lot of fruit off this variety. Here's the pink Barbie guava. Really good. Pink flushed tropical guava. Back here I've got another guava. I had a couple fig trees back here, but as you can see there's not much space, so I pulled those out and gave them away to a friend. And those were the English brown turkey and the Beers Black. This was a Wellspring Desert King fig that I had in a pot. I put it in the ground this year. You'll notice along the wall I have a lot of plants because the wall does provide a nice windbreak. It's protective for the plant. This is the Honeymoon pink variegated guava. This is a really unusual pink guava. The fruit, to me, tastes like a mix between a pink guava, just a regular pink guava, and a nectarine. So it has a really nice taste to it. And it's a pretty productive tree. I wouldn't say it's everbearing, but it's close to that. It will produce blooms and fruit throughout the year. Over here is a brown turkey fig. It's one of the first ones that I put into the ground here. Adjacent is an apricot Plumeria, an Australian variety. This is a Persian lime, bear's lime. Recently picked most of the fruit off of this. Lime season's generally from August to September here. This is a red Suriname from seed. Has not fruited yet. Nugami kumquat. Nice compact citrus that has an unusual taste. Sweet and sour. Mountain soursop. This is one type of soursop you can grow here. The others are too cold sensitive. This one is in the ground and it's thrived. The leaves are said to be medicinal. This is Leona Hoke Plumeria. And I have a few more Plumeria in front there. This is a small Jaba de Caba, Brazilian grape. I have some muscadine vining at the back there. It has not set any fruit. Really hasn't taken off too much, so I'm going to keep it for now because I'm not sure if it just needs time. It is a self-fertile type of muscadine. Here we've got a black Madeira fig. And this one pretty much did nothing all year. Finally sprouted one leaf. This is the Roselle hibiscus. So this is a plant that you can make tea from the dried calyxes. It's the flower expires. Pretty common in Jamaica. A yellow long neck fig. This is a white Ashiya Fig. Has some grafts on it. This is the shadiest part of my yard here in the corner. Got a Buddha hand here, citron. This was one that struggled this year. Really did not put any growth out. They seem to be more finicky than other types of citrus here. This is a tropical Morena Sapadilla. These are very slow growing. No fruit off of this yet. Here I've got a Cadota fig rootstock, and then there's a graft here of the Bordesot Blanca Negra. If you're into figs, that's one thing I would recommend is, get one vigorous type fig for rootstock. You could use Cadota, you could use Black Mission, and then do grafts. It's a lot cheaper than buying a bunch of, rare varieties. Scions are fairly inexpensive. This is a new fig I added this year. It's called a Melanzana Calabresi. So this was started at a 1 gallon, which pretty much is what all of my figs were started at, size-wise. Got another tropical pink guava. So you have more ficus lining the wall. It's this hog plum. It had a really tough year this year. For whatever reason, it never came out of dormancy. And as a result, it didn't have any leaves to protect its bark. So the bark got scorched. And actually down at the bottom, the bark was peeling off the tree, off that branch, so I cut that off. We'll see what happens with this tree. It's experimental. I don't know many people growing hog plum in our area. This tree is native to Mexico. Plumeria. This is another Suriname cherry, but this is a grafted kind. It's red. And this one is called Lolita. This is lemongrass. It's a nice thing you can plant to help as a companion plant for your new trees. Or if you need to block sun at the trunk. I like planting them around trees. This area is probably the one part of my yard that's really gone crazy with growth. I don't even recognize it from spring. This is the Marseille Black. Really good fig variety. Over here I have the gold-kissed apricot. You can see the trees have all pretty much merged together in this area. All the guavas, the fig, and the apricot. There's another Royal Poinciana. This one was put in just last year, and it's really grown a lot. So Royal Poinciana can really put on a tremendous amount of growth. It has mild winters, but don't set it back. This is the Alphonse Carr bamboo. There's another Boswellia sacra that I put into the ground this year. The cutting I took from the mother plant we saw earlier. This is curry leaf. So this is a nice spice to cook with. It's also growing quite tall, merging in with this other pink guava. It's probably my favorite, next to the Honeymoon variegated one. This is called Tikal, and was the most productive with fruit out of all the guavas, and really large baseball-sized fruit. Soft seeds. So we've come into an area that I have a lot of figs growing in. So this is an Lsu Purple on the left. Here's a Black Mission. It has about 4 different grafts on it. This is the Cherry of the Rio Grande, and it's turned a corner this year. I've had to shade protect it from the sun every summer for the past 2 summers. But this summer, it held its own. Well, it's put on a lot of growth. It's almost at the wall height now. One of my favorite figs, Lsu Tiger. There's some massive figs on it right now. It's just a really productive variety. This is an Olympian fig. It's fruiting. Another very productive fig variety is this one. It's Violet de Bordeaux. Have a Eureka lemon here. Quite sizable now. Some more bamboo. So this is giant timber again. I have cana lily as well. And this path I installed last year, so this was all grass. So a lot of difference a year makes. Here I have an Anna apple. This is the Meyer Lemon. And it's laden with lemons this year. You can just see the sheer production off this tree this year. It's just covered. Over here we have more figs. This variety is Nordland. It's a Swiss variety. Put this in fall, and it is producing its first figs for me. Over here is an Lsu Scots Yellow. Also has a lot of figs growing. Incredibly good variety. Over here is an Atriano fig. This one also is producing some figs. So the fig hedge has really grown in. So look down the path here. You can see how much it's grown. Over here is an assortment of Plumeria I have growing. They had a rough year this year. I lost quite a few Plumeria to the monsoons. And my shade structure got torn apart. So they got exposed to full sun before I would have wanted them to. So these are young Plumeria, a lot of these. And they needed shade when we were in the hundreds. But they made it through, and they're starting to bounce back now. We're now walking towards the west side of my yard. In front is a sunrise mango. Very impressed with this mango variety. I have not protected this variety from sun or from cold thus far, and I've gotten a lot of fruit off of it. Probably about 20 mangoes each year. This is the Lsu Purple Fig. Interesting is I bought this as an Lsu Purple, but the leaf pattern on this doesn't look anything near my other Lsu Purple, so this might be a mismarked variety. Here's the Smyrna quince. This is my first time getting fruit off this tree. I had never heard of quince before. This is more of a fruit that's popular in Europe, Eastern Europe. It is in the pear family. And most people make jams out of quince. Back here we have more figs, of course. This is a Boswellia, a French variety that I have found to be absolutely amazing on taste. Here I have a Col de Dame Noir, another French fig variety that's put on a lot of growth, and it's producing figs for me. This is my first crop of figs off of this cultivar. This is a Texas Everbearing Fig. Very tasty fig. Amber, pulp, and I have some grafts on this tree as well. This one is great because it really does have that everbearing feature. It's just always full of figs. This is my best grower of figs that I put in. This is an LSU Scots Black. Really nice tasting berry fig, and the amount of growth this is put on has really impressed me. And I'm using this as a nurse plant, so it's going to provide the upper canopy for a couple of my more sensitive tropicals. Like this Kohala longan. It's pushing out new growth. Has that beautiful red foliage on its new leaves. In this pot is a sugar apple. And that fig is just behind there, kind of towering over these trees. This is a self-fertile black sapote. I believe this to be the Black Beauty variety. I've had a fruit off of this. Sadly, the fruit that had set this year got knocked off by the monsoons. So I won't be getting fruit off of it this year. This coming spring, when they normally ripen. This is a white sapote. I bought it as a Subel, and I'm not really sure if the rootstock took over or if this is a Vernon instead. I have a feeling it is a Vernon variety, because the last fruit that I had off of this that was more on the interior and not sunburnt had notes of caramel, which is characteristic of the Vernon cultivar. This is another fig variety. This is Bourgeois Gris, another French fig, and it does have fruit on it. Probably my tastiest of all the berry types. Got a nice mix of honey and berry notes to it. This is the key lime. And unlike the bear's lime, it still has limes on it. So it kind of extends the lime season for me. And these are not edibles, but nice pollinators. I have over a dozen hybrid tea type roses. They bring in a lot of hummingbirds and butterflies, bees. This is another fig that I'm growing, Lsu Champagne. And I would suggest that you never plant this variety if you're in the Phoenix area. This tree loves to drop fruit. You can see it's covered in figs. and none of them are going to ripen to maturity. They're dry on the inside and rubbery on the outside. And they just constantly abort from the tree, no matter how much water it gets, no matter how much food it gets. So I'll be grafting onto it because it is very vigorous, but the fruit is just lousy. And I'm not saying that this is not a good variety for another area, but for our climate it doesn't work. So just a thing of experience that I've found to be true. This Plumeria has been the exception. This is an Inca Gold, and it's been in full sun for a couple years and has no issues. It can take it. It doesn't require shade protection. There'll be certain varieties of Plumeria that are going to be more sensitive to full sun than others. This is a pink type of tropical guava. I'm not really sure what variety this is. It was sold to me as a white variety, but it's not. Coming to our last fig plant. This is the white Genoa. This is a fig that's much more suited to cold climates, cooler climates, like California. It likes higher levels of moisture, and it struggles in our heat. Its first crop of figs pretty much burn up. They just don't, they don't mature. The tree basically conserves its energy and puts it into surviving, then ripening fruit. But this time of the year, now that we're in fall, all these figs you saw, they're gonna mature. So this one is the exception. It only gives you one crop of fruit a year. This is Moringa oleifera. These pods are edible. Very nutrient dense tree. All parts of the tree are edible. Here I have a dwarf Everbearing Mulberry. And while this is a dwarf, you can see it gets quite large. So you have to prune it, keep it in check. Starting to put some more berries on. Another clumping bamboo variety. This one's called Buddha Belly. You can see it's got more of a graceful leafing structure to it. Some more Plumeria back here. And then this is Barbados Cherry. And this has gotten quite large. So this does put off edible cherries. And it goes from flower to fruit in just 30 days. So in another few weeks, this will be covered in red skin cherries. They're green right now, so you can't see them as easily, but it's a really easy subtropical to grow in our climate. Thanks for joining me on this tour. If you have any questions about any of the plants, I am going to post a spreadsheet that shows where I bought the plants from, how big they were when I planted them in the ground, and where I got them from. So you'll have that to refer to if you want to buy any of these plants yourself. The channel has grown a lot. I think we're at around 1,800 subscribers right now, so thanks to all of you that have shown an interest and have subscribed and watched these videos. I will never monetize the content. I'm doing this because I want to, you know, share my knowledge and show what's possible in our climate. Growing my own food is important to me because, you know, for health reasons, you avoid a lot of issues that are in our food supply these days. Pesticides, you know, genetically modified food. And it tastes so much better as well. But also it really provides almost a healing experience. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up. Thanks for watching.